Next, yesterday we had discussed about some of the basics of reflection of light at curved surface. So once again let us revise that what we have studied yesterday. First of all, we have studied the definition of light. What is mean by light? Light is a form of energy. Energy which is emitted by luminous bodies such as sun, burning candle, etc. This thing we have studied yesterday. So light is a form of energy which is emitted by the luminous bodies such as sun, burning candle, etc. But here I have used a word called as luminous bodies. Luminous bodies means what? The bodies which emits the light energy. The bodies which emits the light energy. The bodies which emits the light energy are called as the luminous bodies, and light is a form of energy which is emitted by the luminous bodies. So example, we have taken that sun is a natural source of light, burning candle, etc. are the examples. Then if we come to the next point, what we have studied, light is an electromagnetic nature. Light is an electromagnetic in nature, so it does not require any media to travel. The very second point we have studied that light is an electromagnetic in nature, so it does not require any media to travel. Because let us see one example that yesterday we have discussed, that sound is also a form of energy. But this sound can travel only through solids, liquids, and gases. Sound can travel through solids, liquids, and gases, but it cannot travel through vacuum. Sound can travel only through the solids, liquids, and gases, but it cannot travel through the vacuum. But whereas light can travel through the vacuum also. So that's why we are saying it as a electromagnetic in nature. So next is that when the light is traveling from one place to another place, means it should have some speed. So the next point is that speed of light is nearly 3 lakhs kilometers per second, and which is equals to 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meters per second in vacuum or air we have taken. The speed of light is nearly 3 lakhs kilometers per second, or else which is equals to 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meters per second in the vacuum or air. But whereas if we have taken the speed of light is 2.5 into 10 to the power of 8, or which is equals to 2.5 lakhs kilometers per second. in air, water, or else glass, you can say. So if we are taking in the glass, speed of light in the glass is 2 into 10 to the power of 8 meters per second, which is equal to 2 lakhs kilometers per second in glass. So here I am using air. Air means air water. Air water means in the atmosphere also we have some consisting some of the water molecules because of the evaporation. Some water molecules also present in the air. That's why we are saying it as a air water. Now, once again I revise this. Speed of light. Speed of light is nearly 3 lakhs kilometers per second, rs 3 into 10 to the power of 8 meter per second in vacuum or air. Whereas if we consider in the air water, the velocity is, the speed is 2.5 into 10 to the power of 8 meters per second, rs 2.5 lakhs kilometers per second. If we consider in the glass, that is 2 into 10 to the power of 8 meters per second, rs 2 lakhs kilometers per second. So here, when the light is moving from one medium to another medium, here vacuum or air is one medium, air water is another medium, and glass is the another medium. Here what is happening, when the light is entering from one medium to another medium, the velocity is varying. Here the velocity is varying. Why this velocity is varying means due to one of the property of light. That property is nothing but the refraction. About this refraction we will discuss in the next chapter. Now, and if we comes to the next point, light exhibits both particle and wave nature. Light exhibits both particle and wave nature. So the study of the particle nature of light, the study of particle nature of light comes under the ray optics. The particle nature of the light can comes under the ray optics, whereas the wave nature of the light comes under the wave optics. Once again you see, light can exhibit both particle nature and as well as the wave nature. The particle nature of the light comes under the ray optics and wave nature of the light comes under the wave optics. And whatever we are having in our syllabus, we are learning about the ray optics. Now, let us see that now let us come to the next topic. So here what we studied, we have studied the definition of light and the nature of the light. All we have discussed till now. Let us see now. So the next thing is the important thing from here we have to observe. Particle nature of particle nature of light. Particle nature of light. Particle nature of light works under the following principal assumptions. Works under the following assumptions. The particle nature of the light works under the following assumptions. What are the assumptions? The first assumption is that rectilinear propagation of light. Rectilinear propagation of light, and the second one is laws of reflection, and the third assumption is laws of refraction, and the last and the final one is physical independence of light ray. Physical independence of light ray. Physical independence of light ray. Now, the particle nature of light. The particle nature of the light works under the following assumptions. The assumptions are: first one is a rectilinear propagation of light. Second one is a laws of reflection. Third one is a laws of refraction. Fourth one is physical independence of light ray. Let us discuss one by one briefly. What is rectilinear propagation of light? The rectilinear propagation of light states as that light always travels in straight line direction. Light always travels in a straight line direction, which is to be called as a rectilinear propagation of light. So we are saying that light always travels in a straight line direction, which is to be called as a rectilinear propagation of light. Means why this is? For this we have to observe about the Fermat's principle. This thing we have studied in the 8th class. Fermat's principle. What the Fermat principle states as that? The Fermat principle says that light always selects the path. Which takes least time to travel. So according to the Fermat principle, we can say that the light always selects the path which takes least time to travel. So in which direction light always selects the least time is when it is moving in a straight line direction. When the light is moving in a straight line direction, then only it takes the least time to travel. According to the Fermat's principle, that's why the light always travels in straight line direction, which is to be called as a rectilinear propagation of light. Now, let us come to the next one. The first assumption of the particle nature is over, and then if we come to the next assumption, laws of reflection. From here onwards, we have to concentrate more and more laws of reflection. Before going to be learn about this laws of reflection, let us see what is meant by reflection. Here, reflection means, already yesterday I said, when you are playing with a ball, for example, this is a ball. If you are playing with a ball, if you throw the ball from this side, if you throw the ball towards the wall, then what happens? After touching the surface of the ball will be bounces back in the opposite direction. Here also the same thing. Bouncing back of light ray when it touches to any surface. Bouncing back of light ray when it touches to any surface is called as a reflection of light, or else we are writing one more definition for this, that the phenomena of change in the path. The phenomena of change in the path of light. Without any change in the medium. Means here the ball is coming from the air and striking the ball, and again it is moving back into the air itself, but it is not entering in another medium. That's what here the phenomena of change in the path. The phenomena of change in the path of light without any change in the medium is called as a reflection of light. Is called reflection of light, or else simple definition, any definition you can write, or else simply bouncing back of light ray when it touches to any surface. Bouncing back of light ray when it touches to any surface is called as a reflection of light. Here let us see how the light will gets reflected in the case of a plane mirror. In the case of a plane mirror, here I am considering this as a plane mirror. Here I wrote it is a plane mirror, and AB, this AB is the incident ray. Incident ray, and here the point is nothing but point B. Point B is point of incidence. This is the point of incidence. AB is the incident ray. When this incident ray touches the point of incidence on a plane mirror, point of incidence on a plane mirror is bouncing back in the direction of BC. So here this BC should be taken as reflected ray. BC should be considered as a reflected ray. Here incident ray, reflected ray, both are coinciding at the point of incident. Both are coinciding at the point of incidence. If we draw the perpendicular, to the point of incidence, that perpendicular line we will call it as a normal. That perpendicular line we will call it as a normal. Here you see AB is the incident ray. I am saying incident ray means what? The ray which incidents on any surface. The ray which incidents on any surface is called as incident ray, and the ray which is bounced back is called as a reflected ray. Here AB is the incident ray and BC is the reflected ray, and BN means the perpendicular drawn to the surface at the point of incidence is called as a normal. So that's what BN is the normal. Here angle ABN is the angle of incidence. Angle of incidence means angle made by, here I wrote angle of incidence, here denoting it by angle I, means angle made by incident ray and the normal. Angle made by the incident ray and the normal is to be taken as angle of incidence. That angle of incidence I am mentioning with angle ABN, which is to be taken as angle I, and angle NBC. Angle NBC is to be taken as angle of reflection. Angle of reflection, which is to be denoted by angle R. Now, once again we will see that here this is a plane mirror. On the plane mirror we are taking AB as the incident ray. When the AB strikes the plane mirror at a point of incidence B, it will be bounces back in the direction BC. In the direction BC, this BC is the reflected ray, and the perpendicular, which is the perpendicular BN, which we have drawn at the point of incidence, is called as a normal. And then if we observe this diagram clearly, we are getting an angle in between AB and this AB and angle is called as angle of incidence, which is to be denoted by angle I, and then angle NBC, which is made by normal and a reflected ray, to be taken as the angle of reflection. So now let us go for the laws of reflection. We have seen what is meant by reflection. So now what are the laws present in the reflection? The first law, of reflection is that when when light gets reflected, from any surface, when light gets reflected from any surface, when light gets reflected from any surface, then the angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection first law states us that when light gets reflected from any surface, at that time the angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. According to this angle of incidence, we have taken angle ABN is equals to angle NBC, means angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection, but angle of incidence we have taken as angle I is equals to angle R. Angle I is equals to angle R. This is the first law of reflection. Now once again let us revise that first law of reflection, that when lights get reflected from any surface, at that time the angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. Here angle of incidence is angle ABN, which is equals to angle of reflection is angle NBC. Angle ABN we are denoted by angle I, and angle NBC we are denoted by angle R, so that angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. This is the first law of reflection. What is the first law of reflection? Once again we will see, when light gets reflected from any surface, then the angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. Here the angle of incidence is angle ABN and the angle of reflection is angle NBC. But according to that diagram, we have taken the angle of incidence as angle I and angle of reflection as angle R, so that we wrote angle I is equals to angle R. So this is the first law of reflection. Now let us go through the second law of reflection. Let's go through the second law of reflection. What is the second law of reflection? It states as, what is the second law? It states means, here you see second law of reflection. The second law of reflection states that the incident ray and the reflected ray, normal, incident ray, reflected ray and the normal, all lies on the same plane. You see here in the diagram, the point AB, point BC and point BN all are coinciding at point B. The point AB, point BC and point BN, all these are coinciding at point B. That point B is lying on the plane mirror. Is it or not? This point B is lying on the plane mirror. So this plane mirror is a plane. So all these are lying on the same plane. No? That's what the second law states, that incident ray, reflected ray and the normal all lies on the same plane. The second law of the reflection states as that incident ray, reflected ray and the normal, incident ray, reflected ray and the normal all lies on the same plane. Incident ray, reflected ray and the normal all lies on the same plane. This is the second law of reflection. Once again let us revise the laws of reflection. The first law of reflection states as that when light gets reflected from any surface, then the angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. The angle of incidence is angle ABN, which is equals to angle of reflection, which is angle NBC. Angle ABN is nothing but angle I and angle NBC is nothing but angle R. So angle I is equals to angle R. Now let us come to the second point. Second law of the reflection is that the incident ray and the reflected ray, incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal all lies on the same plane. All lies on the same plane. That is the second law of reflection. So reflection will take place in the case of mirrors. So here we will learn about the mirrors. First, let us see plane mirror. So plane mirror is a mirror which is having a plane reflective surface. A mirror which is having a planar or else flat. Planar or flat. You people observe a mirror in your home which is having a plane surface. Which is having a plane surface. A mirror which is having a mirror which is having a planar or planar is nothing but flat surface.
10 minutes.
Okay. Flat surface. A mirror which is having a planar or flat surface is called a plane mirror. Is called a plane mirror. So, how the image will form? If we looked at the mirror, we will get a same size of the image, but there is a right-left inversion. Why it will be gets right-left inversion means whenever we are observing into the mirror, so whatever the reflected rays are coming from the mirror, we will observe that the reflected rays are coming from inside the mirror. That's what we are getting a right-left inversion. But here, always the image is virtual and same sized. In case of plane mirror, always the image is virtual and same side, which is erected in nature. Erected means how we will keep our flagpole. Just we will erect in the like the same way. The image formed by a plane mirror. Plane mirror is virtual and erected, which is same size. This is the image formation by the plane mirror, and then a plane mirror always produces virtual and erected image for the real objects, and it can produces real images for the virtual objects. Real images for virtual objects. And the last and final one more point we have to observe regarding that plane mirror is that the focal length of plane mirror is infinity. The focal length of plane mirror is infinity. Therefore, its optic power is 0. Its optic power is 0. Now, once again we will revise regarding about this plane mirror. Plane mirror means a plane mirror is a mirror which is having a planar surface or else flat surface is called a plane mirror. And then the image formed by the plane mirror is always virtual and erected in the nature. The image formed by the plane mirror is always virtual and erected in the nature, and always a plane mirror always produces virtual and erected images for the real objects, and it also produces the real images for the virtual objects. And the last important point of that plane mirror is the focal length of the plane mirror. The focal length of the plane mirror is infinity. So that's why its optic power is 0. So in our topic we have studied up to plane mirror. Now about the spherical mirror we will discuss in the next class. So here up to here you write down the notes and be prepared well.
Give the
And
mic.